Hopefully unbankable. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Hello, my name is Minjoo Kim. I'm majoring in international studies, political science, and economics. And although I should focus more on my project, because my purpose of going to India wasn't just about learning about microfinance, but to learn about Indian culture and want to just travel India. So that's how I went. So I'm gonna use different approach to introduce my project. I'm gonna do more personal stories. Um, so why India? Why everybody asked me, like my Korean friend asked me why I went to India, not going to Korea and see my friends over the summer. 2 years ago, I thought one day I thought I meet at least one Indian every day, just on the street, in the class, and I thought I don't know anything about them. I meet like so many Indians in my life, and I don't know about their culture, about them, and where they're from. So I suddenly I decided I really want to go to India, and then I asked my dad, "Can I go to India this summer?" And he's like, "No, you're gonna pay for the trip." So I work for a part-time job earlier, but it didn't work out. But thankfully, I found the fellowship program from Center of South Asian Studies. So thankfully, I could experience one of the wonderful experience in India. So yeah, that's how I went to India. First, I want to talk about poverty. Everybody knows that many people are poor, and everybody knows that poverty still exists. And although people forget about it after a few minutes after my presentation, but I want to talk about it a little bit. Almost almost half the world, over the 3 billion people, lives less than $2.50 a day. When you think about it, how much you spend on Starbucks every day, that's less than, that's more than what they live on the day. And at least 80% of humanity lives on less than $10 a day. That's what we spend for lunch, and they live 80% of humanity is living less than $10. More than 80% of the world's population lives in countries where income differentials are widening. So that means poor people are getting poorer, whereas richer people are getting richer. So poor people who live on $2.50 are getting less than $2.50 now, and more people are getting less than that. The poorest 40% of the world's population accounts for 5% of global income, whereas 20% of population accounts for 3/4 of the world. So 20% is getting all that money, and 40% is getting just 5% of global income. According to UNICEF, 22,000 children die each day due to poverty. They die quietly in some of the poorest villages on earth, far removed from the security and the conscious of the world. When you think about it, like if you die today and nobody noticed that you died, how sad it is. So you can see poverty is multi-dimensional problem. It's not just about the income, but also about education and lack of basic services, clothing, shelter, and everything. So I chose India because India is an emerging economy. It witnessed an unprecedented level of economic expansion, along with countries like China, Russia, and Brazil, which are called BRICS. That Goldman Sachs argues that economies of these countries will become most dominant economies by 2050. And India is being really productive, labor-intensive economy that they're taking all the outsourcing work from developed countries, which United States is not really happy about these days. And it's the actually 11th largest economy in the world by nominal GDP, and the fourth largest by purchasing power party. But according to Economic Watch, as of 2010, more than 37% of Indian population, which is 1.35 billion, still lives in below poverty line. I'm gonna show some pictures that I took in India, and it's actually nothing compared to what I really saw in Mumbai, but I want you to take a few moments to think about and really look at the picture. That I want you to really think about it. That's in the downtown in Mumbai, which is nicest part in Mumbai actually. And these children don't have home. That's their home, the street. They're playing on it. And the little child doesn't even have his clothes on. And many people living on the street that they don't even have address. And these people are not qualified for microfinance even because they don't have actual address. That's the slum area that they don't have actual sewage system, so people just dumps their trash anywhere just from their window, and they don't have clean water access. And these children live under the bridge with their family, and they go up to the car, knock your window, and do you want to buy this? That's what they do when they should be at the school. And as you see on the picture, Mumbai is really developing, and people can see that like within few years that you can see tall buildings. Whereas the other side, many people are just not doing anything, not inspired to work. They just on the street. So about microfinance, obviously many people know that it's financial services for the poor people who are excluded for the actual formal banking system. And I just want to introduce about a little bit of microfinance, but it's too short for 10 minutes, so if you want to know more about it, you can come to me. Microfinance was introduced to fight against banking and financial exclusion for the poor people in developing world. And by granting economic opportunities and security for the poor people, microfinance limits risks and uncertainty in their lives and reduce their vulnerability. And there are many good things about microfinance, such as frees poor people from dependence on money lenders who takes a lot of interest rates from them, like 200%, 300% of their money, and fights against also creates independence from the government subsidies and grants economic opportunities and builds self-confidence and encourages interactions and information exchanges between communities. But there are also, it's not the solution for the poverty alleviation. It doesn't reach the poorest of the poor, and it can be inefficient, and loan may not serve its purpose, and also it's some people argue that it's against social norms since we had financial crisis, that being debt is not really smart idea. So I started research about microfinance for my senior thesis for the Department of Political Science on the question of under what conditions are microfinance programs able to effectively alleviate poverty. So I was in Mumbai for a month, and I worked for two MFIs, Swahad Microfinance and Hindustan Microfinance. Two are really similar in ways, but very different some other ways. For example, Suahard is associated with Axion, which is a big microfinance association, especially in Latin America. And they provide not only the loans, but also the complementary services like financial trainings and stuff. Whereas Hindustan is just providing loans, and so the application process is much easier for that Hindustan microfinance. So it's a short time to experience everything, but I'm glad I could experience two different microfinance institutions. And yeah, I went to Slums every day. That's one of the slums I went, and I took trains. I didn't take taxis. Sometimes take rickshaws, but yeah, I didn't want to be spoiled rich tourists. So I learned a lot actually through communicating with Indians. Although I didn't speak Hindi, they tried to explain in the directions, everything, and I think I learned the most on the trains actually. And there's nice rickshaw drivers, and that's the office of one branch of Swahard Microfinance. Yeah, and I didn't stay in office that much, and then these are the Hindustan people, and I follow the loan officers every day, what they do, like such as from the promotion, group formation, and how they get money from the clients and stuff. So like I guess like I didn't learn conceptual like about microfinance that much, but through experience I learned about a lot of people and how Indians like communicate with others. They always ask me tea and even ask for lunch, and I felt really like I was involved in them. That's one of their houses, very cozy. I'm short of time, so. So from what I got from India, obviously I learned how microfinance works, but it reminded me this in what the interior decoration of Taj Mahal after I went to India, that these stones are from different places and different from different places, and they all came matched together to make a beautiful decoration. And what I felt about India was all the religions, different languages, and different people came all together and make a really beautiful culture. That's what I felt, and that's what I learned in India. Thank you. And I especially want to thank to the donor and the Center for the South Asian Studies and Professor Jennifer Im for helping the progress of the application and Indian Study Abroad Center. Thank you. And